So as I go through the list of shit typed there on that last video, or the one before that actually, I see a lot of names that I'm familiar with. People who claimed that they cared, but when it came down to it, they didn't. There's a woman named Brooke Freeman on there, and she's talking about how she wouldn't tell anybody what's said in these groups. Why are they keeping it a secret? Now that Brooke woman, she went out of her way to lie to me repeatedly and slander my name. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. At the same time, what these people did to me was wrong. If these people actually cared, they could have come together and helped me to get a place, a safe environment. But they didn't want to hear me. See, for me, a safe environment, especially given that situation, is someplace that it's not constantly loud. If I'm in an area where I'm constantly bombarded with loudness, yes, I get loud. If I'm in a peaceful environment, well, I'm pretty fucking peaceful. When I'm around pleasant people, I'm pretty pleasant. But the thing is, if these people actually cared, they would have spoken up. They would have tried to help me to get to an actual safe environment. These folks, after I tried to commit suicide, were wanting to know if anyone contacted Candace. Candace didn't give a fuck. If Candace did give a fuck, then she would have turned in Officer Michael Beard. Although I have my doubts as to whether or not that's true, because Candace has lied to me about situations like that before. Candace is not an honest person. She wants to make it somebody else's fault that she made the decisions that she made, and that's just not the case. When it comes down to it, it's the things that happened to Miss Shelley and the things that happened while I was at Candace's, Officer Michael Beard, and all of the threats that resulted in me attempting to kill myself. Nobody got me the pills. I walked down to Safeway. I bought myself 2 bottles of caffeine pills. And I got 2 Aleve from the lady at the counter at the hotel. And I had a package of sleeping pills and some cough syrup. And I did my best to try to kill myself with that. I should be dead. I'm pissed off that I'm not. Because all I needed was a safe environment to recover. The things that these people did, Jennifer Farina Bollinger and her friend Adam Klein, Shelley's friend, Kara Johnson, aka Kara Miles, she's in here too, pretending like she cares. But then you see the things that she's typing in these other groups, things that Shannon Alvarado showed me. That woman should be in prison. These people should have left me alone. They shouldn't have pretended to care if they didn't. As soon as they knew that Joseph Michael Lopez was incarcerated. They should have come forward with the truth, and they didn't. They allowed me to continue to be victimized by the police and by the Bollinger family. I needed help getting these people to stop, and they wouldn't. People already had it in their head what help they thought I needed. The help that I needed was somebody to go with me to make a goddamn police report. The help I needed was a fucking advocate, and guess what? That Kara Johnson Miles lady pretended that she would be my advocate. She's not the only person to pretend shit like that. Katie Cahill did the same thing. She pretended like she would represent me in court. The biggest issue is with the police continually stealing evidence. Continually. See, I wasn't judged for things that I actually did. I was judged for the things that Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, and Maddie Boa said, knowing that they were untrue. Now, as far as Maddie Boa goes, she didn't know if it was true or not. She wasn't there in Virginia. She didn't know if I threatened Natalie's family or not. But I didn't. And that's the point. I didn't stalk them to Virginia. I didn't threaten their family in Virginia. And when I left Virginia and went back to Boulder, having to hear people say that I stalked some girl in Virginia, and that I threatened some little girl and her family in Virginia, Maddie Boa said, it's pretty fucked up. But those rumors didn't stay that way. They got pretty warped out of contortion pretty fucking quick. What the Boulder Police Department did was assault an innocent man who needed help, who was being threatened, who was obviously being threatened. Any fucking idiot can tell that. But not just being threatened by the family of Natalie Bollinger. Being threatened by her friends, even more. See, that's what folks aren't getting, is that I was frustrated because I was being assaulted for shit that I didn't do, and I couldn't see my loved ones because of shit that I didn't do. And many of those people, after Natalie died, just wanted to treat me like shit. Wanted to ignore me and pretend like I wasn't a human being because of what happened to Natalie. Well, you know what? Natalie made those decisions herself. She decided that her life sucked so much that she needed someone to shoot her in her fucking head. I agree with Natalie's decision. I wholeheartedly believe that assisted suicide should be legal. Well, I had people physically assaulting me and threatening my life, calling me a druggie, doing whatever the fuck they wanted to me. Alicia Bollinger didn't give a shit. I tried to speak to these people in a civil tone. I tried to get the police involved so that we could speak in a civil tone. I tried to get my friends to work with me to try to get something going to stop this bullshit, but I couldn't get anybody to listen. This is stuff that was really fucked up, and I needed to talk to somebody in person. Instead of Mark Swanigan and Joanna Taylor Smith, I needed an actual person who could make the time in person. But everybody wanted to talk over me. And I do mean everybody. From Brenda Dickinson to Derek Parrish to Joanna Taylor Smith, Janine Barrett, everybody's opinions were more important than finding out the facts. And with all these people coming at me on Facebook, if these people really cared, this Brooke Freeman and Danica Garner and Kara Johnson, aka Kara Miles, if they actually cared, they would have asked people to leave me the fuck alone. The help that I needed was for the cops to leave me the fuck alone. The cops. The police. Because they're hobo hunters in Boulder, Colorado. They don't care about your fucking rights. If you got money, they'll sell you a poor person's child. They don't have any fucking humanity in Boulder, Colorado. The most decent people that I knew were all homeless. All of them. And not even one of them was perfect. I stream on video for a reason. I needed help in person. I needed help to knock all of the shit off that was started by Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, and Maddie Boa not telling the fucking truth. Natalie should have told her mother that I was invited, that we had planned the trip, instead of the whole stalker bullshit. Alicia Bollinger should have admitted that I was stuck in the street. I didn't threaten her family. But no, that's not good enough, is it? Maddie Boa should have told those fucking tweakers that no, Sean didn't fucking molest anybody. Sean didn't fucking rape anybody. But Natalie, she wasn't honest. Alicia, she wasn't honest. Maddie, she wasn't honest. But those people get to talk to people in person, and I don't. So what they have to say is more important than what I have to say. I'm freaking out on Facebook, yeah. But unlike Alicia Bollinger, unlike Natalie Bollinger, unlike Maddie Boa, I don't get to see my loved ones. Going from one shitty fucking situation to another, being told that I wanted it, needed it, chose it, or deserved it. No, I didn't. I didn't want Candace back in my life after what she did in Virginia in 2016. I didn't want Miss Jerry back in my life, or Lana Engeline back in my life, or Amanda Engeline back in my life after the bullshit that they pulled while I was in Virginia in 2016. My dad, I sure as fuck didn't want him back in my life after the shit that he pulled while I was in Virginia in 2016. These people were out of my life for a reason. It's because they were dishonest. Because they never admitted that they were wrong. They tried to play it off. Each and every one of them. Like they hadn't done anything wrong by lying to me. See, my issue with them back in 2016 wasn't the things that they did. It's the fact that they were dishonest about it. Something that all of them did again after Natalie died. If these people that were typing in this group actually cared about me, they should have helped me to get a safe place. They could have helped me to get an honest day in court. They could have helped pressure these fucking cops to do their goddamn jobs. Candace didn't like the things that I had to say to her. Well, maybe she should have kept her word. See, there's a difference between saying, hey, Sean, you've been here long enough, it's time for you to go, And Sean, the cops were harassing me on my way to take the kids to school, and they were there at my work. All right, Candace, which one was the truth? I literally ate those pills and tried to kill myself because I needed help getting a safe place. But nobody wanted to stop and understand what that even means. They wanted to shove me into a fucking homeless shelter where people are literally already fighting each other in the streets over whether or not I killed Natalie. And you want me to go to a homeless shelter, and you spent 13 hours looking up a fucking homeless shelter. Are you mentally fucking retarded? I walked people to those warming centers for years. And the homeless shelter. For years. 7 years. 7 of them. And passed out blankets. And took them where the food was. I needed a safe place where I wasn't surrounded by violence. And then all these people making the same suggestion like I haven't heard it 300 times before or already tried it 300 times before. When people were telling me to go to the library, you know what was pissing me off so much? Is that I'd already been to the library. People had already gotten violent with each other at the library because I was seen. People had already come in and threatened my life while I was in the library. And this is your idea of a safe place. No, I needed my place back. The assault by Officer Lolatai prevented me from being able to defend myself every day since then. Now here's what Brooke had to say. I am a Facebook friend of SS, but now this is something I noticed. Cara Mia, she didn't want to be honest and tell me that SS stood for Sean Schwartz. She said it's screenshots. Well, she's full of shit. Anyway, Brooke typed, I am a Facebook friend of Sean Schwartz. He's never asked me what's been said in group. I wouldn't tell him anyway. Only thing I would say to him would be that he has a lot of people that genuinely care for him. Really, if you genuinely cared, you would have fucking done something. That's the thing, is that these people wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. These goddamn internet trolls. And people in real life. And that's what y'all aren't realizing, is that it isn't just Facebook. That mentality is something that I had to deal with in Chapel, Nebraska, and Boulder, Colorado. I had to deal with it in Boulder, Colorado before Natalie was killed. And these people think that prayers are gonna fucking fix it. No, get off your ass, Danica. If you really gave a shit about me, if any of these people actually gave a shit about me, they'd asked Alicia to come forward and tell the fucking truth. Alicia, whose idea was it for me to stay behind where you worked? Whose idea was that? Whose idea was it to go to Elliot's Coffee Grounds on my birthday? Whose idea was it to go to the pier and the pagoda in Norfolk? Whose ideas were those? Whose idea was it to go to Virginia Beach? How many of those ideas were mine? 0. Those were all your ideas, Alicia Bollinger. I should have been allowed an honest day in court. Then again, Ken and Leah shouldn't have stole my money. Did I choose for them to do that? Fuck no, but I get told I chose it anyway, now don't I? A lot of people took advantage of me. A lot of people that I used to trust. But Jamie taught me not to trust anyone. Jamie taught me nobody is worth trusting. Nobody's ever going to be honest with me. Now, these people who lied to me, people like Candace Bondurant, they lied to me because they knew they had done something wrong and they didn't want any repercussions. Well, the repercussions are for lying to me. Like Danica Garner and Brooke Freeman. These people who pretended to care. Most of them only until Lopez was caught. And then after that, they didn't care. The problem is that people were still threatening me, still harassing me. They just needed to leave me alone. Now, I bet you Natalie, Alicia, and Maddie didn't realize that their bullshit would reach so far and result in so many people doing so many awful things. When I tried to kill myself in January of 2018, it was because of the police conduct and because of how my friends were treating me. It was about the slander and all these groups, these supposedly Natalie Bollinger groups, all harassing me. Now sure, some of them were typing nice things. It doesn't matter how nice a shit that you type. It doesn't. These people all showed their true colors. Do as they want, or I'm a bad person. I have to be unthinking, uncaring, emotionless. I'm not going to apologize for not having that bullshit going on. I'm not going to apologize for not being fucking psycho. Alicia Bollinger could have stopped the violence, could have stopped the threats at any point in time just by telling the fucking truth. Natalie Bollinger could have stopped it just by telling the truth. Natalie, Alicia, and Maddie, all three belonged in prison. People weren't hitting me over things that I did. They were hitting me over rumors that were started by little girls, as you keep calling them, who were grown adults. Nobody wanted to do anything about any of the things that were happening to me. They just wanted to type pretty words. I didn't need pretty fucking words. I needed actual help. Those GoFundMes that were started. People didn't like the things that I had to say to Candace. Well, Candace should have come forward. Candace should have told the truth. Her and her kids would not have been thrown out into the snow. Candace's mother would have taken her in. It didn't register to Candace what it is that she was throwing me back into. Same thing as it didn't register to Lana and Amanda Engeline, how badly they had fucked me by not keeping their word. I needed these people's help, not them yelling at me and screaming at me. Danica Garner belongs in prison. So does Shelley Campbell. And so do all of these officers. They can't take a report from me in the jurisdiction where I was assaulted, but they can steal evidence from me from a completely different state. The state of Wyoming, the computer that they stole from me, has evidence of those Wyoming officers' wrongdoing, as well as officers in Colorado's wrongdoing, as well as Shelley and Danica and Kara Johnson. It's also got recordings that show I was telling the truth. Recordings with Bobby Forrest and Jamie Curtis. People like Mike Burdett using Natalie's death for entertainment. To see to it that innocent people are harmed for his own entertainment. And that's the problem here, folks. Is that it was all just entertainment to you, where Natalie was a friend of mine in real life. She was someone I cared about in real life. She wasn't just some Facebook group that hates on Sean. She was the actual human being I cared about. You know, I forgave Desiree for stealing all of my shit. When Desiree ended up in another fucked up situation after stealing my shit, I still did my best to try to help her out of her situation. Alicia and Natalie are no different. When Natalie needed my help, when Natalie disappeared, it didn't matter how pissed off I was about the things that I was going through. I wanted her to be found safely. And at my grandmother's funeral, when Ted was harassing me for 7 hours straight with no indication that his daughter Alicia was okay, it didn't matter at that point in time how many terrible things Alicia had done over the past year. I was worried about her safety, and that's all that mattered.